Anurag and I met about 10 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
We met when we were really young. And then we were together for a few years and then got married almost 5 years ago in a couple of days. And then right now we're planning a cross-country move, moving from Vancouver, Canada in the west, all the way to Toronto in the east. So that's what we're doing now. A lot of people are calling us crazy for moving in the winter, but we just do things like that. And our jobs just allow us to work from wherever in the country. So we thought we'd try out a new place and be closer to the cold and experience the real cold of Canada. Just kidding. That's what we're doing right now.
But that is what's happening.
Yeah.
That is what's happening. Yeah.
It's really nice to have all this freedom, like you mentioned, with the remote jobs and things like that. And I'm a big advocate of using that freedom to do something more than, what you could do otherwise.
Yeah. 100%.
So, yeah. How did you guys decide? I think there's plenty of couples out there, right? There's plenty of married couples and, people who aren't married or whatever else, and they're doing their thing. And, they are happy with their careers, or maybe every now and then one person goes and gets a new job and starts trying something new. But you guys decided to transition into Salesforce careers at pretty much the same time. So I would love to know what was it about Salesforce that you decided, okay, Salesforce is what we're going to try to do. And then what was it about your current situation that made you decide, I want to try something new anyway? And I guess Salesforce is that. How did you guys come to the conclusion to choose Salesforce and then do it at the same time?
So I think it was me that initially started with Salesforce. So I just had a job where I wasn't challenged enough. I was feeling like there was this meeting was reaching a dead end. And then I was introduced to Salesforce by my brother, who's incidentally also a Salesforce developer. So he said, just try this out. It's not just for people that code. You can do a lot in Salesforce without coding. And so I tried it out, and I was hooked almost immediately. And I kept raving about how great it is. And then I told Anurag about it, and he gave it a shot.
Yeah.
And then we both started doing some real research on whether this is something that would stick. I think the real realization happened after COVID was when people were losing jobs left, right, and center. And the only industry that seemed to be unaffected at that time was the IT industry. And then we just because we were enjoying this so much, we thought, okay, we'll give it a shot. And then we both studied together, and it was great because Anurag's just like naturally really good with logic and analytics. So there was, when I wouldn't understand something, he would help me, and vice versa. So it was really great. Like, we would ask each other questions and test each other's knowledge. Like, we'd be cooking in the kitchen and suddenly ask each other questions. So just things like that became a lot of fun. And so we both got certified around the same time.
Yeah.
And we hit a dead end after that. Life happened. There were a few personal losses in the family, and so we couldn't continue on that career path. And when we were ready to get back into the workforce, we knew that it had to be Salesforce. But we reached a dead end until we found Talent Stacker.
Yeah, and I think that's not unusual, right? Especially because the certification process is it's a little different than the rest of the process. It's more straightforward with not that it's easy, but it's more straightforward. It's okay, there's Trailhead, you follow this path. You can probably find some practice exams online and test your knowledge, and you go register to take a test, and you take a multiple choice test, and you see whether you pass or fail. And if you pass, great. And if you fail, you know what you messed up on, and you go study that and you pass that. So not that that's easy. We see people fail 3 or 4 times sometimes. But the path forward is pretty clear cut for what you need to do to succeed. And then you end up on the other side of this thing where it's like, all right, now what? Because I think, as we know, I think a lot of people don't know, but I think having been part of Talent Stacker and this whole Salesforce community, we realized that certifications are not jobs. There's a lot in between a certification and getting a job.
Exactly.
So yeah, so you kind of, for multiple reasons, it could have been the transition from this isn't just studying for a test anymore, but then also, life happens, and I think that's something people underestimate too, is just health issues or moving, or you have a child, or you have kids that have some kind of issue that they need attention to, or aging parents, or there's so many things that can happen in life that can disrupt any journey.
Yeah.
So I guess tell us a little bit about how did you go from sort of that disruption? You're certified, but things have sort of hit this wall. How did you go from that to picking back up and moving forward? And what did that look like for you guys?
Okay, so as you mentioned that we had to step back from our journey towards Salesforce, and we were thinking like where to go ahead, like how to go ahead from here. Then we started researching on like any kind of help which we can get to start our careers. How can we get a job? That was the main motive, right? Like how can we get a job ultimately? So we were thinking that okay, if we are really lucky, then if we have our certification, we will go back to Canada, apply for jobs, maybe we'll get shortlisted, and that's how we'll proceed. But Akila did her research on this. I have to give it to her. She did a whole lot of research on Talent Tracker, and she came to me with this idea, like, "Hey, I saw this guy on the internet, and he's
That's exactly what I said.
and yeah, I was like, okay. I was like, he's like, oh yeah, he's saying that it's 6 months at
To 60K.
60K in 6 months or something
Something
like
like that.
something like that. I was like, are you sure what you're talking about?
Is it a scam? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same reactions, right? What usually people will think, because every other ad you see on TV, it's like, oh, you want to live this life,
You want to lose weight, do this, drink tea.
yeah. It was just like just any other ad. So we really gave it a thought. We did a little bit of more research, and we thought that it cannot be a scam. Like so many people, they cannot lie, and like yeah, they'll have the same language if you're lying. Like every person has a different story to share.
There was that, yeah.
Yeah, it cannot be a scam. So we thought that no, it's a second chance for us after the break, and we thought that okay, we'll give it a try, and we started our journey from the 5-day challenge, and then we really liked it, and we registered for the program. Then we started our projects. We came to know more people, got involved in the community, and here we are today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's seriously all
yeah.
that
It sounds simple, but it's not that.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't like right.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're on one end. You think you're certified. This is enough. There's going to be people that are calling you and giving you jobs.
Mm-hmm.
We tried to do it on our own. So
Yeah.
we did apply to jobs. No, nothing.
No, nothing.
No response. And now I have to say that at this point, that both Anurag and I, like our current jobs, were not posted.
Yeah.
We didn't apply to jobs. We didn't do the traditional applying to jobs. This was all through networking.
Yeah.
And a bunch of skills that we learned on Talent Tracker. Like seriously, this is like anything that's happened over the last 6 to 8 months. We owe this to you, Bradley, and Talent Tracker. Like seriously, we do. I'm not even kidding. And
Well, thank you. Yeah.
no, seriously, and it did really change our life, and we're hoping that that it changes others' lives as well. And I'm both Anurag and I were anyone that comes to us asks about Talent Tracker. We have nothing but good things to say.
Yeah.
The only regret that I think the two of us have is that we didn't find you sooner. You were not out there as much as you are now.
Yeah.
That's the only regret that we have now. And it was just like valuable skills and these relationships that we've built with people, right? Like yesterday I could tap on someone's shoulder and say, hey, I'm struggling with something, do you mind getting on a call with me? And we just have this extremely powerful community where everyone just wants to help another person. I feel like it's almost like the culture.
You talked a little bit about this, but what do you think as far as, entering into Talent Stacker and now starting these Salesforce careers? How long have you guys been in your current roles to this point? And how do you feel like your life has changed, and how do you see your life changing because of these, new Salesforce careers that you guys are moving into?
Yeah. So 2 months after, I think it was about 2 months after I joined Talent Sector that I had a job. It was just that quick. And back then it didn't seem to be very easy to find a job in Canada, at least when I was looking. Because I didn't know about all these techniques and strategies that you could use, right? I was just doing the traditional, there's a job posting and you apply and you don't get shortlisted. I mean, you're competing with people with 5 years of experience. Here I was with hardly any experience, right? So 2 months after I joined Talent Sector, I landed my current job. I've been at my current job for about 6 months now. And it's been life-changing for me. Like, this is an entry into a whole new world, in that I'm getting to work remotely. I love, I just love it that, you can just work remotely, especially on days when you're not feeling the greatest, and you can just work from your couch or just like stretch your legs. It's just extremely convenient. And just like even in terms of what I've wanted to do, like I feel like I majorly lucked out. Like with my company, there's a lot of consulting companies out there, but I'd like to believe that the company that I work for is one of the better consulting companies out there. And it's just like the experience that I've gotten has been terrific. I've been, working with an extremely big client. It's a really big project. I'm working on it's a CPQ and billing project as well as a sales club project. Like, it's both. So it's been great exposure. I feel like this is just the start, and it's just going to get better and better from now on. Is what I think.
In my journey, I've been working just over 2 months now, and when I joined Talent Sector, I got a job, I think, right before I completed 6 months. So I was not scammed. I got it within 6 months. Just kidding. It was a great journey so far. I'm really happy with my current role. I wanted to do a lot of config work, which I've been exposed to from the second week. I would say they gave me some time to understand what's happening around the workplace, and I'm really happy that they have given me an opportunity to work from wherever I like. They even told me, like, if you want to even go home sometime, like back to my country, you can even do that, but as long as you support the hours. I'm
sure.
Like, that completely, I can completely understand that, and I'm really happy that I got this opportunity, and really getting to learn every day and grow in this field.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I think that sort of brings me to another idea of doing this together. And I think that's a unique thing, right? Like we talked a little bit about the community and how we all have access to this community of people, but you guys had access to each other. And I think that speaks to people who, we have in the program right now, we've had multiple couples. We have a mother and her son.
Wow.
We have people who are friends, just like friends from school or friends from their current jobs and things like that. And they're tackling this together. And I think that's a unique situation where you have not just the virtual, online support, but you also have real support right there in your life together. How do you think that benefited you guys to be on this journey together, day in, day out? And I guess, were there any downsides to that too? Like maybe almost like Salesforce overwhelm where you just couldn't stop talking about it? I'd just love to hear how you feel tackling this together at the same time and going through it together, was benefited from the fact that you guys were in the same household working together. Yeah.
So I feel like when we started this journey together, like we knew, like when we found Talent Sector, we knew that we wanted to do it together. At one point, I think we did consider that one of us would do it and the other one would just sit and wait and see what happens. But then we're like, no, we'll just take a leap of faith. This is true. This is real. Let's just do it. We're just investing in ourselves. So we did it together. I feel it was extremely beneficial. I feel like it was extremely beneficial in that we did work on the project together, and every person has their strengths and their weaknesses, right? For example, I'm not the greatest with reporting, but I love the security component of Salesforce, and Anurag just really likes reporting and dashboards. So we just played off each other's strengths, and then when one of us would get stuck, like we were there to help each other out immediately. Especially like watching videos, we would do them together. Like pause and ask each other questions. Why is this like this and not like that? So I feel like also accountability, right? Like when you're doing it by yourself, you can just be like, I can just do it later. I can do it another time. Let me do this now. But when there's two of us, if one person is feeling like, no, I'm just feeling lazy, let's watch a movie. That has happened to us. Yeah. So then there's this other person that's like, no, let's just get this done and then we can watch a movie. So there's accountability. So I feel like that really helped us, even to the extent that when we'd be in the car, like instead of listening to music, we'd listen to Salesforce like YouTube videos and sorry, YouTube video, but the audio. And then I think it was not until later that we realized that no, there needs to be a break. No, you can't do this all the time. We've got to talk about us and we've got to talk about other things in life. And so we don't do that. I mean, we still do. Sure. And I think that it's extremely beneficial even now, even right now, working in the same careers, in that he's working on Service Cloud. I know nothing about Service Cloud, and I'm working in CPQ, and he's interested in CPQ, but doesn't quite know. So literally, this is what we do. When I build something and I'm really proud about it, it's taking like 5 hours to figure it out, but I've done it. I literally get Anurag to see what I've done, and I'm teaching him. This is what I did. This is what I did. And this is how the quote came. This is how I added the product option in here. And I created this price rule. He does the same thing.
Yeah.
He usually calls me and he's like, this is what I did and this is what I did. And it's just great, right? Whether it registers or not is secondary, but just the fact that you're able to share these little wins with your spouse who gets it. It's not like you're in different careers so it's been so great so far.
Yeah.
So
And we have to give you credit for this as well, because we asked you that we will be in different groups for our projects, and you said no, you be in the same group. It's going to help you guys, and we see that now.
We see what you meant now.
Yeah, it's so interesting that you bring that up, because I think going through the journey of like landing your first jobs together is one journey in and of itself. But then I can only imagine now having both of you working as Salesforce consultants, and I think now you get to explain it to someone else who's actually interested in understanding it, and then by the time you get back to the client, you probably have such a great understanding of what you built and how you built it that, I mean, you must seem exceptional when you're explaining this to the client.
I hope they do.
And I would also like to add about getting our jobs within the first 6 months. It's like, somebody might get a job on the first one, somebody might not get a job in 6 months, but about your efforts, how much you're going to put into this program, everything is there. You just have to go and try it out. That's all it does.
That's true. That's true. It's like, yes, you've got an amazing program in place. Yes, it's all really well laid out, but you've got to put in the work. It's not like it happens magically just because it's there. No. You've got to put in the work, and you've got to make that effort. The hard work's, that's not a minus.
I would love to hear, do you have any advice for other people tackling this as a household, whether it's a, mother, son, or married couple, or maybe just friends from, coworkers or something like that? Like when you're going at this together, do you have any advice for other, couples out there that are looking to make this transformation?
For us, like I'll tell you in terms of like what has worked for us so far, or what we see, because we were in it together. The struggle, it was not just one person struggling. The two of us were struggling together, and so when one person felt weak, there was another person to just hold them. And lift them up and support them emotionally. So I think that was great. The other thing is like having that study partner and that accountability like available to you constantly, like in your own house, and having that success come like the happiness, it's all multifold, right? Like the sadness is multifold, the frustration is double.
Mhm.
But when the happiness comes, boy, does it feel good. And the fact that we were able to, didn't even dream of being able to buy a house in Canada. It's just an extremely expensive country to live in. So just that, like, and the confidence that we had, we're like, okay, we can do this, like this is possible.
Yeah.
Like I feel like any couple that's looking for a transition into Salesforce should do it. And then eventually, like when you land jobs, like eventually, like right now the two of us have branched out, like we're working with different clouds, and I think at some point, like we'll come back together, or I don't know, it doesn't really matter. But it's just good to know that it can get quite lonely, especially with remote work. It can get quite lonely. So it's just good to see another person who's just like you, I mean your own family. But if you're having a frustrating moment, it almost feels like the other person understands why. So I feel like that has been very beneficial. The thing I would say to not overdo is, I think that for us at one point we didn't know where to draw the line on, okay, this needs to stop here.
Yeah.
It's getting too much. Like I would get obsessed, like I still do, and I feel like I'm still learning to draw that line. Anurag gets obsessed too. Yeah, he's no different. We sit for hours in front of a computer until we've figured something out. So I think like being able to draw that line is important.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
No, just don't give up on your dreams.
Yeah, just don't give up.
Yeah,
and
just support each other. Don't give up on your dreams, and continue working on it. Yeah, you need to give it some time. It will not happen.
It will not happen overnight. No, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not magic or anything.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's okay to dream about this. I feel like it's okay to it might feel unreal in the beginning because you're so used to just accepting your life the way it is. But I feel like see, I don't know about Salesforce because we were certified before we joined the program. That didn't really land us jobs, right? For us, it was the program. So I can only speak to what I've experienced or we've experienced. And for us, our experience has been, yes, Salesforce, but it was through the Talent Stacker program and you that we were like, okay, this is possible. This is all real. These dreams are attainable and within reach. So for us, it was that. And it's the same advice for anyone that's looking at joining the program together.
Yeah.
I think, like, personally, I also feel like I don't know if I would have done as well if I would have joined by myself. I kind of have that doubt. I don't know.
Yeah, just the accountability to it, and just having somebody else in your corner. It is a big deal. It does worry me. I wonder if there may be a situation one day where somebody so strongly doesn't feel like moving forward that they drag the other person down with them or something. So I don't want to hear that story one day. So hopefully the motivated, focused person will help pull the other person forward. So well, I want to thank you both for taking time out on your Saturday. I know you're both adjusting to new careers, you're moving, you have so much going on in your life. So I just want to thank you both for being willing to take the time out to come talk to me about your Salesforce stories.